Okay, so you guys have been chewing my fucking face off to make a video about these homemade rucksacks. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make a quick video for you guys about my homemade rucksacks. I have not included the SS camo rucksack because I just don't feel like digging it out. And it's not my favorite one. This here is a homemade rucksack. This is original from World War II. It was probably made for refugees, but it is original. I got this at the surplus store when the dude had died and left his 3 Connex containers full of German militaria, and the guy at the surplus store bought all the Connexes with the contents, and he didn't know what anything was. So I ended up helping him sort the stuff and go through it and price it and look it up on the internet, etc., etc., and so on. And I was able to get some really good deals when I was there. This is a standard splinter pattern. I've used this actually quite a few times. And I mean, I've used it in all sorts of weather, rain, snow. And it held up. It held up just fine. The only thing that happened to it was it did get a hole right there when I had it overloaded, and the button closer ended up ripping the Zalpan button off of there. But this is my first Alaska shipbird rucksack. I call homemade rucksacks shipbird rucksacks. My first homemade shipbird rucksack was back in the 90s. I had absolutely zero sewing skills, and I made one on a sewing machine out of a East German Zalpan. That thing's long gone. I didn't really get back into them until recently. The guy was going through a bunch of stuff. It was like the last duffel bag, and he was disgusted, and he started dumping the stuff out on the floor, and this fell out, rolled up in a ball, and he kicked it across the floor, and before it even stopped moving, I knew what it was. I went over and grabbed it, and I think I got it for 20 bucks. Like I said, this is probably refugee made. I don't think this was used in any sort of a military capacity. It's even got the dude's name on the back of it. My friend in Germany actually recognized this last name from as a German last name. It is well used by whoever had it and me. And like all Zalpans, it's double-sided and has this pocket on the inside. I suspect this was actually used for a mess tin, because a mess tin will fit in there like it was made for it. I guess they could have used it for other things, but the history nerd me likes to think things out practically. It does have a bust in it right there. Somebody tried to patch it up, and you can see it on that side. It's been hand sewn. I don't know how old this thing is. Judging by the material, I think it was probably made out of an early war Zalpan. Even the straps are made out of Zalpan material. And I'll put up some pictures of me using this. I probably shouldn't have used it, but it held up. I heard a few threads snap here and there, but when it started to do that, I got scared, and I got a little sentimental. I didn't want to ruin history, so I ended up making my own homemade Zalpan rucksack. And here it is. I nicknamed her Gertrude. She's made out of reproduction Zalpan. Jesus fuck, man. Anyway. Simple fast text closure. You can almost see the shape of the Zalpan. I put the outside pocket on there to house a Zalpan and other pieces of equipment, but you know, it's not exclusively made for that. I just made it big enough to put a Zalpan in there. I kind of fudged the inside closure, the mouth. I just put these loops around it, and it actually worked out pretty good. It's probably one of the better designs that I had for a closure. Drawstring, no big deal. I guess this thing is probably 25, maybe 30 liters. It gets really big. I mean, you guys have seen me use this in videos. It gets really big. The back. This is for shoulder straps. I got homemade shoulder straps that hook onto it, and these here will allow it to hook to a frame. And that's another thing I'm working on right now. And it just hooks at the bottom. The bottom is completely reinforced with this big piece of webbing. It's never going to blow out. The fabric will rip before the bottom blows out. I've used this extensively. I've never had a problem with it. Here's the head hole for the Zalban. It's still there, but not a big deal. So this is Gertrude, and Gertrude has a big mouth. And Gertrude's big mouth will make you happy when you need to carry things through the forest. And that's Gertrude. And this is the one I made recently. This is pretty small, maybe 20 liters. Very simple design. I mean, bottom of the barrel, very simple design. Toggle holding it shut. Homemade toggle tabs, and of course some Velcro for an Edelweiss. This has got a simple drawstring mouth on it. Nothing fancy. It's got a bellowed pocket, Zalban button, with a homemade tab. This is just for whatever. I didn't specifically make this for any kind of an item. It's bellowed, but the pocket is not teardrop shaped. But I do like to close off pockets right there to keep the edges under the flap so I don't lose any items. And so far that little design for myself has worked out quite well. Toggle shut, as I mentioned before. And the back is very simple. I mean, 2-inch webbing, 2-inch webbing, 2-inch webbing, Fast-Tech buckles with odd colors to help for the CamCon. I like this, but it proved to be too small. Actually, I think the wife is going to confiscate it off me. I see her going to work at the hospital now, carrying this over her shoulder. I hope she uses it, but I mean, it's a good rucksack. I don't know if I'm going to have much use for it because it has proved to be a little bit too small. I don't know. You be the judge if you could use it or not. It turned out really well. I'm more than happy with it, but I should have made it a little bigger. And in response to this being too small, I made another rucksack. I made this one the other day. It's made out of a regular reunified German Zalban. Made a little pocket in the mouth there. This was actually an armhole, I believe, and I just left it as it was and used that for the lid of the rucksack. Like so. The mouth of this one, I got a little bit lazy, but it actually worked out really well, and it's zippered, which is really fast and really handy. So I'm kind of glad I got a little bit lazy on that one. And again, Fast-Tech buckles with a little bit of webbing I had left because I am still running out of everything. Clip, so forth and so forth. It's got the outside pocket here. And again, what I do in all my bellow pockets is I'll sew it there in a triangle, and it keeps the sides of the pockets under the lid so I don't lose items. And again, it worked fine on this. I've had this out like 5 times this week and no problems at all. So this one here I actually made for, you know, smaller items I need to get on. This pocket here I made for smaller items that I need to get to in a hurry, and these side pockets I made for specifically for camera or canteen. And it kind of worked out really well because the seam runs right there and it kind of bends the lid, and it actually forces the lid down, which helps secure the inside items. And these pockets are also bellowed. And again, I do the triangle there to keep the mouth of the pocket under the lid so I don't lose any items. It's a really important feature that I add to my homemade rucksacks. I mean, because the last thing I need to do is worry about losing anything. And so far, so good. Another pocket over here. Same deal. It's located on the seam, and the seam kind of forces the lid down. Blah, 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 blah. It is actually folded over, so there's no seam on the bottom. I just put this here just put the webbing there on the account that I don't want the closure buckles to be pulling on naked canvas, because there's more of a chance of it ripping. And with that like that, this rucksack will fall apart before that comes off of there, or these straps end up ripping. And the back is again 2-inch webbing, but this one's a little bit bigger, so it has the sternum strap. And I did sew the sternum strap into place, and that's fine because I measured it out before I actually put it where it needed to be. 2-inch webbing, Fast Tech buckles, different colors to help for CamCon. I like hanging a whistle from there for Dane and for Bear. I've already ran into 3 bears so far in the last couple of weeks. Fucking sucks. The reason I put these pockets up so high instead of making them completely even with this is because the way the corner is here, where the strap hooks on, it kind of pulls up, and if I had to put the pockets right here, it probably would have pulled on it and would have decreased the cargo capacity of the side pockets, and at the very least it would have made it ride retarded, and I didn't feel like fooling with it after I got it together and got it out in the field and figured out that it would ride retarded. I don't want a retarded riding rucksack, and if I'm not being PC enough for you, then you can just fuck off and get off my channel, because I don't want a retarded rucksack. So we got this one, kaboom, and this one, kaboom, and the faithful Gertrude. And I suspect these will outlive me. I'm super happy with all of them. I said this one could be a little bit bigger. And they all were bred from my love for Shyt homemade rucksacks. And the more stuff I make homemade, the more I see the illusion from the tactical industrial complex pushing shit out onto people. I mean, I knew it was there, but the more stuff I make myself, the more I use it myself, the more I realize this crap is over-engineered to get the highest premium out of the consumer. So since I got all this out, I guess I will pull out the SS camo rucksack around here somewhere in this mess. Oh, there it is. Now this was my second rucksack I made, and I'm not really that happy with it. I kind of just threw it together on a rainy day. This fucker is big. I mean, I could fit a winter weight sleeping bag in there. It was originally supposed to be really small, but it ended up being really big. Bellow pocket there. Semi-bellow pocket on the sides. So it's 3 pockets in all. And this pocket has a pocket inside of a pocket. So that closes up there, and then I can put this one down, and there you have it. On the inside of the lid, there is a pouch for a Zalt bomb or a poncho or whatever the hell you want to put in there. This is actually the back panel off of a East German Fallschirmjäger vest. The drawstring didn't really turn out the way I wanted to, and I don't really think it's the drawstring's fault. I think it's this crappy ATF fabric, because this stuff is made with baked on printing, and baked on printing stiffens the fabric. It's also got side pockets here, which are pretty big and very bellowed. I don't know how I feel about this rucksack. I did make it so I can take the shoulder straps off, and these will hook onto Gertrude, or they will hook onto my British World War II frame. All these rucksacks will hook onto my British World War II frame, which I am rebuilding this weekend. So there's that. This is dated 1944. This is the second one of these I've had since I've been in Alaska, and I'm really fond of them. The other one I had, my friend wanted a pack board, and I didn't have a wooden pack board. All I had was one of these, so I gave it to him, and then like years later, I ended up regretting it over and over again. So there's that. These are my homemade Shyt rucksacks that I really like. And there you have it. I don't know what else you guys want to know about it. Okay, have a good weekend.